Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at something maybe overlooked. Sesame seeds.
Right, just sprinkled on top usually.
Exactly. But turns out these tiny things are, well, packed with some surprisingly powerful stuff.
Definitely more than meets the eye.
And we know you, our listener, want the important info, like fast and without the fluff. So we've dug into the details.
Yeah, sifted through the product info sheets and research data.
Our mission today, pull out the really key, maybe even surprising facts about sesame seeds. Make it easy to grasp.
So moving beyond just the topping idea, really getting into what makes them tick based on what we found.
Okay, let's start where. Where do these seeds actually come from, primarily?
Well, globally, sesame is a major oil crop. Big deal in tropical and subtropical areas.
Warm places make sense.
Yeah, and the data points to a few key countries really leading the production.
Oh yeah, who are the big players?
The sources consistently list Myanmar, India, China, Sudan, and Ethiopia as the top ones.
Wow, okay, that's quite a group.
And get this, together, just those five, they account for something like 70% of the total land used for growing sesame.
Got 8%.
And around 60% of the actual world production. So, yeah, heavily concentrated.
That is pretty significant.
Yeah.
Okay, so geography covered. But the really interesting part, what's inside them? What makes them valuable?
Right. Nutritionally, they're quite something. The information shows a really high oil content. We're talking 50 to 60%.
50 to 60, that's huge for a little feed.
It really is. And it's not just any oil.
I was going to ask, what kind of oil are we talking about?
Well, the good news is nearly 85% of that oil, it's unsaturated fatty acids.
Ah, the healthier fats.
Exactly. The ones generally considered better for you. Plus, a bonus point for sesame oil, it's known for being pretty stable.
Stable, meaning?
Meaning it resists oxidative rancidity. Basically, it doesn't spoil easily. It gives it a good long shelf life.
Okay, so full of oil, the good kind, and it lasts.
Ah.
Nice. Now, the info also mentions something called lignins, non-fat parts.
Yes, lignins. That's where things get really fascinating from a health perspective. Two main ones to focus on. Sesamin, that's SA, and sesamolin.
As sesamin and sesamolin.
Got it. These compounds are really key to a lot of the unique benefits linked to sesame.
All right, let's break those down. Sesamin first. What's its story?
Sesamin is, well, one of the most abundant lignins in there, and the research suggests it has some really good physiological activity.
Like what kind of activity?
Our sources point to several things. It acts as an antioxidant, it's anti-inflammatory, and it seems to help with lowering lipid levels, fats in the blood.
Antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and lipid lowering. That sounds potent.
It's a powerful mix of potential benefits, yeah.
How much sesamin are we actually talking about in the seeds themselves? Like percentage-wise?
Typically, it ranges from about 0.5% to 1.0% of the seed's dry weight.
Okay, 0.5 to 1%.
But what's interesting is when they extract the oil, the sesamin can become more concentrated, so potentially higher levels in the oil itself.
Ah, I see. Concentrated in the oil. And what does the science say sesamin actually does in the body?
The studies highlighted in our info show a few key things. Definitely strong antioxidant properties protecting cells from damage.
Okay, cell protection.
Also linked to lowering cholesterol, helping regulate how our body handles fats, lipid metabolism, stabilizing blood pressure, and even some anti-tumor effects noted in certain research.
Wow, that is quite the resume for one compound. How does our body, process it, handle it?
So once you consume it, sesamin is mainly metabolized by a specific enzyme system. You might have heard of it, cytochrome P450.
Ah, yeah, vaguely familiar.
Right. It breaks down the sesamin into different forms, metabolites, and these then circulate as glucosinolates and sulfate conjugated forms before they're eventually cleared out.
And how does the body clear them out? Where do they go?
The main exit routes are through bile, urine, and also feces.
Okay.
So the body breaks it down, uses what it can perhaps, and then it eliminates the rest through those pathways. It's mostly cleared via metabolism.
Got it. Okay, that's sesamin. What about the other one, sesamolin? How's it different?
Sesamolin, right. It's the second most common lignin. One key difference is its direct antioxidant punch. It's actually weaker on its own compared to another related compound, sesamol.
Weaker. Why is that?
It lacks certain chemical groups, these phenolic hydroxyl groups, that give sesamol its stronger antioxidant power.
Okay, so less powerful directly.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing something in the notes about heat.
Yes, that's sesamolin's kind of cool trick. When you heat it, during cooking, sesamolin can actually convert into sesamol.
No kidding, it transforms.
Exactly. And since sesame is a potent antioxidant, this conversion is really beneficial. It basically boosts the antioxidant capacity of sesame oil or fats when they're heated.
Huh. So cooking with sesame oil actually enhances some of its properties. That's neat.
It really is a hidden benefit unlocked by heat.
And the amount of sesamolin in the seeds, similar range to sesamin.
Pretty similar, yeah. Usually around 0.3% to 0.6% of the dry weight.
0.3 to 0.6%.
And again, just like sesamin, it can end up more concentrated in the oil after extraction.
Right, makes sense. Okay, so we've covered these specific lignans, sesamin and sesamolin. But sesame seeds aren't just about those two, are they? What about the overall picture?
Oh, absolutely not. The whole seed is a nutritional package deal. We touched on the oil, but there's also protein, good fiber, healthy fats beyond just the main ones, B vitamins, then minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron. Really nutrient dense.
So it's like a tiny multivitamin almost.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of those broader benefits then.
Well, the antioxidant effects from the lignans we discussed are a big one, fighting that oxidative stress, cell damage. Then there's the anti-inflammatory potential. Could be helpful for conditions like, say, arthritis.
Okay. And heart health. That's always a big concern for people.
Definitely relevant here. The combination of healthy fats and those lignans seems to help. Things like lowering cholesterol, improving overall lipid profiles, maybe even helping manage blood pressure.
Yeah.
All good for the heart.
Good stuff. What about bones? You mentioned calcium and magnesium.
Exactly. The decent amounts of calcium and magnesium contribute to bone health, potentially helping prevent issues like osteoporosis down the line.
Makes sense. And digestion. Fiber usually helps there.
For sure. The fiber content supports healthy digestion, keeps things moving, helps prevent constipation. You know the drill.
Right. I've also seen sesame oil in like skin creams and hair stuff. Is that just marketing or?
No, there's something to it. Sesame oil is known for its moisturizing and nourishing properties. It might help with skin elasticity, maybe reduce the look of scars, and even promote healthy hair growth.
Interesting. Skincare from seeds. What about hormones? The notes mentioned something there.
Yeah, this is interesting. The lignans, because of their structure, can interact with estrogen receptors in the body. This could have implications for hormonal balance, especially perhaps for women.
Huh. Complex stuff. And blood sugar. Any connection?
There's some research suggesting sesame seeds might play a role in regulating blood sugar levels that could potentially be beneficial for people managing diabetes.
Potentially.
Yeah, it's an area scientists are still exploring, but the initial signs are intriguing. More research needed, as always.
Of course. And one last one. Immune support.
That's right. They're a good source of zinc. And zinc is crucial for a healthy, well-functioning immune system.
Zinc. Okay. So, wow. These tiny seeds really do cover a lot of bases.
They absolutely do. From heart to bones to skin, it's quite impressive.
It really is. Now, shifting gears slightly, our source material also had specifics about a particular product, a high concentration sesame product.
Yes, exactly. It detailed a product that's basically purified sesame, specified at 95% content.
95%? That's very pure.
Extremely. It's isolating that specific lignin we talked about earlier.
What other details did the spec sheet give?
Well, the usual technical stuff. Its botanical name, Sesamum indicum, a CAS number, which is like its unique chemical ID. Description: a white to off-white powder. How they confirm its sesame using HPLC, a lab technique. And importantly, strict limits on heavy metals.
Heavy metals, like what?
Things like cadmium, arsenic, lead, mercury. Very low limits, less than 1 part per million for most, even lower for mercury. Safety standards.
Right, gotta be safe for consumption.
Absolutely. And also microbiological limits, making sure it meets food safety regulations like USP standards.
So a tightly controlled high purity product. And lastly, the company behind this. What did the sources say about them?
The company is Biomed Ingredients, BMI for short. What stands out from the information is their range of certifications and affiliations.
It's just a focus on quality.
Definitely. Things like USDA Organic, GMP certified, that's good manufacturing practices, ISO 9001 for quality management, FDA, FSAC 22000 for food safety.
Wow, quite a list.
Yeah, plus various specific boards like Spices Board India, Coffee Board, and they seem to have a global footprint too, with locations listed in India, Germany, Jordan, Australia.
Okay, so a serious player, internationally recognized standards, wide reach. Got it. Well, this has definitely been a thorough look at sesame seeds.
It really covers a lot of ground for such a small thing.
Let's try and boil it down for you, our listener. Key takeaways.
I'd say the big ones are sesame seeds. way more than just decoration. They're grown globally, packed with nutrients, especially healthy oils and unique compounds called lignans.
Right. And those components, the oil, the unsaturated fats, and especially sesamin and sesamolin, seem to offer a whole host of potential health benefits.
Yeah, we talked antioxidant, anti-inflammatory effects, good things for your heart, your bones, digestion, even potential roles in skin health, hormone balance, maybe blood sugar control.
It's a surprisingly diverse portfolio of benefits from one tiny seed.
It really highlights how much valuable stuff can be packed into everyday foods.
Absolutely. Which leads to a final thought to leave you with. Thinking about how much is going on inside this little sesame seed, its global journey, its many potential benefits. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other simple, everyday foods that we maybe just glance past? What hidden powers or surprising stories might they hold, just waiting to be explored a bit deeper?
That's a great question. Lots of potential hidden in plain sight, maybe.
Something to chew on. Thanks for diving deep with us today.